if you have a home that you live in right now, and you have rooms that you have not used, been in, lived in 1, 2, 3 years, today's show is for you. This is the St. George Real Estate Morning Drive. Jeremy Larkin here with
Jesse Paul.
Yeah, he's like the Ed McMahon of real estate. With the Larkin Group home selling team, real estate and downsizing experts here in St. George, Utah with KW Realty. It's interesting. Jesse, just thinking of that show opener, it's so fascinating to me how many people will tell us when they approach us, they're thinking about downsizing, right?
Yeah.
And they'll say, oh, I haven't even, the home's on 2 levels. We haven't been upstairs in ages. We haven't been downstairs in ages. We don't access that room. We kept Stephanie's room just in case she came back, right? And then they end up like some of the folks that we're going to talk about today with 4,000 square feet, a pool, half of an acre, and they don't know what to do with it.
The funny thing is you don't have to live in a big home for that to happen.
No.
I live in 1,500 square feet?
Can't believe it's that small.
And I've been in like one of the bedrooms maybe twice this year.
Yeah. Yeah. You just don't go in there.
Yeah. There's no reason. Now my wife goes in there, but I haven't been in there.
Yeah. It's like the downsize. One of the conversations I had yesterday with a client, guy by the name of Scott, real name, he's in Vegas. He's pretty innocent.
Yeah, nobody will ever track him down.
He called us and said, hey, the folks over at Primrose Senior Living. Primrose is a phenomenal facility. We visited there how long ago?
About 3 weeks ago?
Yeah. He said, hey, the folks at Primrose said, you're the guys for this job. And mom and dad live in Bloomington Hills. Dad has dementia. Mom is the you know what I mean? The faculties are failing. Yeah. And I want to address something. There are kind of 2 kinds of downsizers. If you're a potential downsizers and you're listening today, there are kind of 2 groups that they fall in, and we're going to talk about it. And one is this group that I'm addressing right now.
Right.
And he said we should have moved them 2 years ago. We tried to move them a year ago. And now what he said was, drum roll please, now it's too late. They're in a rush. How long do you think it will take to sell the home? We need to come up out from Vegas for 4 weekends in a row and clean the home out.
Yeah.
We need to move them into Primrose, but we're worried about the cost. And so this is, so there are 2 groups. And one of them is the assisted living, really senior living, retirement like type facility group. And the challenge, Jesse, is that, and I want to talk about this with you and get your feedback on this. The challenge is that they have landed in a no man's land of no choice. They don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Do you see this happen?
Yeah. And as we've been visiting these places, that's pretty common. People will hold on until they actually have to go. Yeah. And almost every time they say, once they get there and they're settled in, they say, geez, why didn't I do this 2 years ago?
Absolutely.
It changes like their whole being. I actually had that happen. Mary Ann, that moved from Cedar City. She had already left. I mean, they'd already moved her to Florida. And she came, I'm not kidding you, they thought she was going to pass away when she was here. It was that far gone. Within 3 weeks, she's out running, playing with her friends. Like she'd made new friends. She came back to life just from going into an assisted living place. Yeah. And engaging, right? Yeah. She got engaged in life again.
Yeah. It's so fascinating, right? So this is one group. Okay. And what you want is choice. And as we walk through this conversation today about really what we call the downsizing dilemma, should I stay or should I go?
Should I stay or should I go?
That's right. And this downsizing dilemma of, well, we really love our home. We have a lot of memories in our home. We have a lot of belongings in our home. We can't imagine not living in our home. We can't imagine not seeing Tom on Saturday say, "Hey, when you're done mowing your lawn, come mow mine." It's a classic neighborhood, right? That was always in my neighborhood. That happened all the time. Calvin Robinson. You know Ryan Robinson, the optometrist? It's funny. My optometrist, family optometrist, and my family vet, they're brothers. Ryan and Mark Robinson. Calvin, their late father, would always say, "Hey, Dale, when you're done mowing your lawn, come mow mine," to my dad. And anyway, it's really hard to not imagine that.
Yeah.
And you have this place that's really safe. And so as we talk about that group, and if you are, interestingly, an adult child of this group, which we see a lot of that, because so few people actually go when they can. They go when they have to.
Yeah, then the kids have to come and take over and do everything because mom and dad. It's too late for mom and dad to do it. They just can't anymore.
Yeah,
we see that a lot.
So I just want you to think about today as we walk through this dialogue, if you're listening, about choice. We're talking about choice. How do you make decisions and moves when you have choice? And this is one of the first things you want to do. On the flip side, so we have the scenario where mom and dad have to go, and now Scott and his siblings are going to deal with it. And good grief, I have 20 of those scenarios. Conversely, we talked a little bit on the show, I don't know, several weeks ago. I had another client where they said, "We're moving to Ovation," and we love Ovation. Ovation is phenomenal. As Jesse calls it, Ovations. He threw an S on there. He doesn't know he calls it Ovations, but I just thought I would razz him right here on the air.
Yeah, that's
Jesse. Are you one of the? Wait a minute.
Of Jesse.
Wait. Are you one of those guys that says Snows Canyon and Zions also? You better not, dude.
I don't know.
You'd be dead to me if you say that. So it's not Snows
we could
Canyon.
Start now.
It's not Snows Canyon. It's not Zions.
I don't think I can. I don't think I do.
So, it's funny. We have many.
I'll pay attention now.
There you go. Plenty of our clients have moved to Ovation, senior living. It's phenomenal, and Ovation's kind of a fascinating place because it's like a big cruise ship.
Yeah, it's huge.
Right?
Yeah. Anything you want to do, you can do.
Yeah, multiple restaurants.
Yeah.
And most of these places are divided into their regular assisted living or even independent living. Well, let's call it independent living and assisted living.
Right.
But then they have memory care.
Right.
Memory care is for folks with dementia, and the therapy is amazing. But I had some clients move out there this last year, multiple, but thinking of a couple in particular.
Several.
Who are just like the coolest people. Very much mentally, crystal clear. But they were having some health issues. And Ken said, "I can't drive anymore." And when he figured out he couldn't drive anymore, he's like, "I'm out of here, dude. I'm not coming and going from South Hurricane anymore."
Yeah,
Well, we move him over there. Time passes. And I go to visit the director of sales over there. And we're visiting about, just what helping them get some residents. And I leave, and as I'm leaving, I run to the restroom, and there are Ken and Connie, and they're hanging out with their buddies. And there's 3 couples.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, Jeremy, come here." 4 p.m., they're over there having a glass of wine. You tell me. Now, look, you might not drink wine.
I think that's pretty common.
You might not drink wine. Maybe it's a Diet Coke. But you tell me that life isn't pretty good when at 4 p.m. you roll over with your buddies and you huddle up at a table and you're having a glass of wine.
Yeah, in
right?
the shade, yeah.
So where this is going is they referred me to some great friends of theirs who are trial staying in Ovation right now. And Ovation does this. Not all of them do that. They want to see how it goes. And the challenge is this, Jesse. They're both, but mainly her, the wife. Their home is phenomenal, the home they own. Really, really having a hard time thinking of letting that home go and selling it. And they're the ones that sat in that room right there and said, "We want to move while we have choice."
Yeah. And what's really cool is they actually can go and do a trial run, right? Do we really like it? Can we really handle this?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is
cool. Because a lot of
isn't it?
people don't have that.
Well, of course. I mean, first of all, they have the financial capability to do that, right? I mean, a lot of people don't have 2 pennies to rub together. And so, just kind of these are anecdotal stories. Here's what we're seeing though, Jesse. We are seeing an absolute boom of people downsizing.
Yeah.
Is this accurate?
For sure. Quite a few. And I think that, and this is totally made up based on what I'm looking at.
I love this.
It seems like there's a lot more people going into assisted living. Now that could be because of where we live, right? There's just a lot of them here, and we have a lot of seniors here. But to me, it seems like it's getting more and more people are choosing that path, and they're choosing it earlier.
Yeah.
While they do still have a choice, there's many of them that are.
So that said, let's shift gears. Literally almost same day, phone rings again. Husband and wife, they live out in Little Valley. And he said to me on the phone, well, we've got 3,700 square feet and a big old lot and a pool and looks like an oasis back there. Jeremy, I don't want to take care of this anymore. It is consuming all of my time. And most importantly, he said, it's interfering with my fly fishing.
I love that.
Yeah, I know you do.
Oh, yeah.
It's interfering with his fly fishing.
And I'm not even a good fly fisherman. I mean,
there you go.
I'm a fisherman, not a catcher.
No, oh, that's good. That's, good.
That's what my son-in-law says.
Oh, that's great.
We'll go and he'll catch like 7
Oh,
fish.
that's funny.
And I'm trying to still figure out how to get the fly in the water.
You're not a catcher. Oh, this is good, dude. So we see this is the other group, right? These are the downsizers who go, what am I supposed to do with 4,500 square feet, 6 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms? This is crazy.
Yeah, like let's get down to 2 or 3 bedrooms.
Correct, right? And it was interesting talking to him. I said, what would downsizing look like? I always ask the question, Jesse, what would that look like? 1,500 to 2,000 square feet. And here's what's funny. Actually, they live on an acre. Tell me if he's used to having a big lawn. You could hear how it had affected his thinking. He said, I just want 1,500 to 2,000 square feet with a lawn that I can mow in less than 1 hour with a quiet lawnmower.
That's still a pretty big lawnmower.
Here's my point. The fact that he even thought it would need to be less than an hour. I said, you could mow that lawn in 15 minutes.
That's funny.
You know what I mean? Right, teased him. Because it's like he's traumatized from the acre.
With the quiet lawn. So is that an electric lawnmower or one of the really old-fashioned ones?
Well, I mean, I think...
no motor.
Well, here's what I think. I think it's anything other than a rider.
Yeah.
And, because...
Yeah.
So isn't that fascinating though? Right?
That is.
A lawn that I can mow in less than an hour. This means this guy's life a lot of his life has been spent on a riding lawnmower.
Oh, that's good.
So these are, I'm meeting with a couple at 10 a.m. It's 8:47 now. So T minus an hour and 13 minutes. They live in Santa Clara. You actually met with them first.
Yeah.
What did they have? Close to 4,000
Yeah,
feet.
That was 3,800, something like that.
3,800
It was a
feet?
big house.
Pool.
Yep.
Full basement.
Mm-hmm.
Full basement. How many empty nesters, Jesse, 60 plus, 65 plus, spend a lot of time in their basement?
Very few.
No, none, right? I mean,
very few.
Mostly cold storage.
Yeah. Or if they have a pool table but very few.
Very few.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, who uses...
And if they do, it's maybe once or twice a year.
How many 65 plus, we're just going to go with that number right now, empty nesters, Jesse, use their second floor where their master suite, primary suite, is not there.
No. Well, hardly any. You start getting up into your, probably even late 50s. You don't want to go up the stairs.
How many times have you been showing homes and they said, I absolutely do not want the primary suite upstairs?
A lot. And that's true for even young couples.
You bet it is.
Like
it's pain in the butt.
That's true for the majority of the...
It's pain in the butt, guys. I mean, let's just face it. I mean, it's literally a pain in the butt.
My wife is the only person that I've ever met that actually loves her bedroom to be upstairs. Mm-hmm. But she wants it to be up there by itself.
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing up there.
And by the way, mine is. And it's the only thing up there.
So is mine.
So... that's a scenario where these guys are downsizing. So I want to talk about, let me pull this document up here for just a minute. Let me pull this up for just a minute. All right. What do we got here? Yeah. Oh, why don't you tell, this is hilarious.
So
do you dare tell anybody on the air what you just read? He showed me a text message.
Oh yeah. My wife's texting us while we're on the air. She said, the reason why Jesse-isms are so funny is because he will fight to the death thinking that he's right. My favorite is Evingston.
Evingston. Oh, Evingston. Oh my gosh, this is too good.
So,
dude, this is too good. This is too good. Look, you know what, Jesse? Consider yourself razzed,
Yeah, that's good. Hey, I need to be razzed.
Yeah. So, Jesse, there's a process that we walk people through, and I'm going to actually ask for your help.
Okay.
My machine literally ran a full update while we were sitting here and rebooted.
I
While I was sitting here, I watched it updating.
I'll share this.
Talk about being on the air and having the two trains of thought. We actually developed a system. Now, whether you are in that first group, hey, I've got to go to senior living. I can't manage my home. Maybe I have health issues. Maybe I have memory care issues. Right. Or maybe I see it coming and I need help. Or if you're in the second group, and it's, by the way, there is no order. There's no order to the groups, Jesse.
All right.
Which is what are we supposed to do with this gigantic house that we raised our kids in? And it just doesn't make any sense. And maybe not most importantly, most excitingly, is people with these big homes are sitting on piles of equity. Mm-hmm. Just like Brink's truck.
Yeah, especially if they bought that before 2020.
Yeah.
Like just so much equity.
So there's a process. It's our signature system. It's called the Legacy Living Blueprint. And I want to walk through it just briefly today with our listeners. Legacy, this process, guys, it works. And I've done this for folks who wanted to move to an RV and travel the world. I've done this for folks who literally their adult children had to move them out because they had dementia and they couldn't. I didn't even interact with the owner. And we've done this for everyone in between. Okay. So Jesse, let's walk through it. I want to walk through the steps. If you scroll down there a little bit, if you're watching this right now, step one is what we call what, Jesse?
Your home, the 50-cent tour.
Yeah. The 50-cent tour. Step one takes place in the home. And for instance, the folks I chatted with yesterday out in Little Valley, the guy that wants the lawn that he can mow in less than an hour.
Yep.
I scheduled an appointment Monday at 3:30 p.m. to go walk through the property. Mm-hmm. And what is the purpose of going to the home, Jesse?
A couple things. Number one, so that we can really see the essence of the home. Mm-hmm. But number two, so that we can help them figure out what are the best things that they can do to make sure that they're getting ready.
Yeah.
Because if you're not selling a home every day, it's all the details aren't second nature.
Well, first of all, you didn't even notice how dirty your light switches were.
Yeah.
And Jesse, recently working with client Beth, that
Mm-hmm.
we've talked about a little bit on the air in the past. She and her husband owned a home. He passed away. She held on to it. She moved in with her adult daughter, but she kept holding on. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years passed. Literally, she would visit the home to get her mail with her daughter. She wouldn't even drive a lot of the time, I don't think. Would go back to her daughter's home. And when we went through the home, here's two things we figured out. A, the home needed some work. And the funny part was it only needed about $2,500 of work.
Right.
To sell for the most money. And B, she had no idea how to even tackle any of it. And so we took over. This is step one, what we call a 50-cent tour. We're going to walk through your home. We're going to find out what makes it special. We love seeing your memories on the walls.
Yeah. Hearing
about your story. And then starting to make an assessment about, okay, Jesse, how do we help you get the most money for the home in the shortest amount of time? Give us step two. What is step two?
Step two
takes place where?
Meet at our office. Let's talk numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, step two is where we talk numbers. And this is where we meet in the office. Why do we meet in the office?
Well, number one is...
Well, why do we not just tell someone right at their house, oh, the home's worth $650?
Well, because you want to go do research. You really want to make sure, for instance, if I call an appraiser, he's not going to just tell me, hey, this is what it is. He's going to go look at the home. He's actually going to do deep research and come up with a really data-driven answer.
Correct.
Not just shoot from the hip.
And this is where we walk through 3 broad pricing strategies, which are, which we use all the time, which are aspirational, perceived market value, and event-based pricing. People, if you've never met with us and talked about this, it's game-changing. It's going to help you make a way better decision about your home price. And we talk about what you can expect. Step 3, Jesse, is what?
Step 3 is home preparation. Slow down to speed up.
We talk about that all the time.
This is so important.
Isn't it?
I cannot tell you how many times.
Hey, but Jesse, I want my home on the market in 5 days.
Yeah, people will wait till the last minute to call. And then they want to rush to the market. And and when you're rushing, there's so many little things that get missed that actually cost thousands of dollars.
Oh my
It
goodness.
costs you, not like,
You know how cool this is? My client, Andy, we got 5 minutes. We were chatting yesterday. I had my handyman. So we were going to sell their home on Diagonal. It's this phenomenal historic home.
oh yeah.
They said, well, maybe we're actually going to sell our rental downtown. So we go to the rental downtown and we walk through the property. And you know what is so cool about this gal? She called me yesterday. Jeremy, do you have a minute to talk today? I said, sure do. I call her. I just wanted to tell you everything I'm doing to get the home ready. She really caught the vision. I'm doing this, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing this, and I met with your handyman, Henry Porter, and he's going to do this. And Jeremy, what should I do about this? And I actually had to slow her down. I said, maybe you don't even need to do a couple of those things because I don't think there's a return on investment.
That's the key. Remember when I said,
right?
There's things that if you're not doing this every day, there's things that you just can't know.
Yep.
And some of those things that people are going to do will not make sense.
They won't make sense, guys.
And so, and some of the things that they don't think they have to do are the absolute most important.
Yeah. Jesse, step 4. So we talked about home prep.
Your home, the digital debut.
The digital debut.
Debut.
There we go. That's like Evanston, Wyoming.
Right? Yeah.
Your digital debut. And guys, when we've walked through your property and met and learned your story and assessed what we're dealing with, when we've met to talk about the big numbers, when we've then guided you through the slowing down the speed up process, your home's gonna have a digital debut.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when we go to market. And this is when we shoot beautiful videography and photography. And we tell this beautiful story, step 5. I'm going to keep moving here because of time. This is kind of great.
Step 5, your legacy lives on.
Yeah. And you know, we're going to hyper warp speed like Star Wars ahead. We take your home to the market. We have a very specific process and methodology about when we go to market, how we go to market, what we tell the world when we go to market, how we handle multiple offers if we have a bidding war.
Yep.
Scott and Linda, my clients last week, we had 3 offers. The offers went well over the asking price. It was literally a bidding war. We have a very specific methodology to all these processes. And what I want you to know is it's not from the hip. You're already feeling like, how do I deal with this?
Mm-hmm.
You need us to work from a position of confidence and from a position of process.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, guys, this is the legacy living blueprint process, and it's kind of cool. Jesse's been scrolling through this and been watching, and it's like, you know, I love this. I see it on screen. Finally, the peace of mind you've been looking for. By the way, for a lot of us, it's not in a self-help program. It might not be in that supplement you needed. It might be that you need to get out of the house that's too big for you. The house that no longer serves you, the home that is full of stuff that you don't need, the home that, Jesse, that has rooms that you ain't seen in a few years.
Yeah.
Right. And then I love this. I'm even looking at his screen here. Mm-hmm. Your space feels manageable and easy to take care of. Keep scrolling there. Right. You can focus on what, Jesse? On doing what?
Doing what you love without the burden of the house being too big and too much work.
Like fly fishing. You're close to family with easy access to healthcare and the support you need. And the last one?
And above all, you know that you've made the right choices for yourself and for your family.
Look, guys, if you're an empty nester, if you're a downsizer, if you're on the edge cusp of this, 1 year out is not in our final 2 minutes. It is not too early. Jesse, yes or no?
It is not.
Not even kind of.
Nope.
It is not too early.
It is not.
To be talking about this.
Mm-mm. Yep.
I want you guys out there, guys and gals, everybody out there listening, I want you to grab a copy of the Legacy Living Blueprint. You can do so by visiting the Larkin Group. Just Google the Larkin Group. Shoot us a message. You can visit us on Instagram at Larkin Group. You can find us on Facebook, the Larkin Group. You can go to waltz on over to gostgeorge.com, GOSTGeorge.com, and just say, hey, I'd love a copy of the downsizing guide, if that's all you can remember, right? Legacy Living Blueprint, that Jesse and Jeremy talked about on the show. Okay, guys, Jeremy Larkin, Jesse Paul, Larkin Group, KW Realty.
Thanks for having us.
Over now.